what was a day in your life like while you were living on the street in Atlanta City?
Because I wasn't working. So in order to make myself have something available to even get something to eat, I, was doing criminal activity. I was going in stores, taking stuff out of stores to actually support, trying to get something to eat, but also support my habit. There was moments that I did sleep in a shelter, but I didn't feel comfortable with that again. I would go to the shelter to eat. Then after that was over, I wasn't returning there to sleep. So I would just go back to where I would go back and find somewhere to just get comfortable for the night. And then there's this, my drugs are right there with me to give me some comfort. So I kind of like overlooked the fact that I needed shelter, and I needed something to maintain what I was doing. If not, this is what things were going to look like. Mm-hmm. So, I would call my dad, and my dad would let me stay there occasionally. But I knew that wasn't in the morning. I had to leave. I couldn't stay. My dad's like, you can't stay here because you got to go. And, I wound up doing some things at my dad's job, where I got involved in some legal, got arrested for taking something away from the job. And before I knew it, I had a case. My dad got me out of that situation. And that's when I moved to Philadelphia at that point to live with my mom.
And what happened?
She took me in for some time, started working, tried to go back to school, went to Jefferson Business School. I wanted to get into like computer data entry. So I did that for maybe about 2 months and lost interest in that. And before I knew it, I was back in an environment that I had told myself that I wasn't going to go back into. And that's when I was back into using again, went back to living on the streets again.
Could you talk about how you took care? I mean, I know you mentioned not having a change of clothes and stuff, but how did you take care of your hygiene and other aspects of your health?
Yeah, I would actually go into like McDonald's. I'd go into a library. I'd go to the bus station, and use the bathrooms to wash up. Even though I was homeless, I still felt I needed to keep myself up. Days that I didn't keep myself up too. Now it was was not always, a wash that day. It was not always a change of clothes. But when I felt I needed to do that, to wear my clothes for 6-7 days, it's time to put on some different socks. It's time to put on some unclean underwear. It's time to, freshen up, So I would go into those places and actually warm up, get something to eat at some of those places. Ask people for change to try to get something to eat, to go to, maybe just even a McDonald's or, when I didn't have any money in my pocket, I was able to get, I don't know how I did, but through social services, I was able to get food stamp benefits. So I would use my food stamps to buy me some food and go to a friend's house and cook some food sometimes. And sometimes you have to take something to get something. So I'd say, hey, let's all cook and eat something, I'll go ahead and get the food today. So there's some times where that came in also handy.